Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment. You can listen to The Mike O'Mara Show at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
Let's get started.
It's The Mike O'Mara Show with Mike O'Mara, Oscar Santana, and Robb Spiewak. Now, here's Mike.
Well, let me just say I'm glad somebody was finally able to chop the wood and then go out to the backyard and bring in the logs to start the fire that gets the show going. Welcome to the Mike O'Mara Show. We are enjoying our second decade of the show that has become a daily routine for thousands of listeners in great places like Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. I've been there.
Sure.
Hyderabad, India. Why do I think we've had that one before?
I don't think we have.
Really?
Our buddy Hari is just back from there. And he
Oh,
wanted to mention
Hari!
that he listened
Well, then
out
I
there.
think he did send that.
Hello, sir.
I don't.
He did years ago.
I could double check, but I don't think we've had it. But I'll double check.
Keystone, South Dakota. I don't think we've had that one. Wheaton, Maryland. Might have had that one. Santa Nella, California. Santa Nella.
How come, Mike? You didn't say you'd been to Wheaton. I know you've been to Wheaton.
Oh, I've been to Wheaton. We have a lady on from Santa Nella. It's Nell.
Nella.
And Ventimiglia, Italy.
Yes.
Wow. Jesus. Welcome to the Mike O'Mara Show. How is everybody? We had a brief respite from the show yesterday when we were off for Indigenous Peoples Day.
I thought it was National Women's Day.
I don't know what day it was. It
Yeah.
was. I know it wasn't the abusive Christopher Columbus Day.
No.
I know it wasn't that. And by the way, I was only halfway through my atrocities from Christopher Columbus. I was reading the myths and the atrocities from Christopher Columbus, which is fascinating. Everybody should do that. Let me see. Columbus never landed on American soil. You know that, right?
Right.
Not in 1492. Not ever. He never did. I mean, they're showing
He
us
never
where
vacationed here?
He never landed on American soil.
That's because
a lot of the West Indies.
That's because the Earth is flat, right?
Right off the
land.
edge.
Let me see. I got South America here. Let me see. No, not in the U.S. of A.
Was he on the Pinta or the Santa Maria?
Let me see.
There's also the Nina.
Nina. Not Nina. Nina.
Oh, there wasn't the thing on it?
I don't think it was Nina.
The tilde?
Nina is a little lady.
Well,
Says
girl.
Columbus
Little boat.
painted a horrible picture of peaceful natives. When Columbus first saw the native Arawaks that came to greet him and his crew, he spoke with a peaceful and admiring tone. Quote, they brought us parrots and balls of cotton and spears and many other things. They willingly traded everything they owned. They were well built with good bodies and handsome features. They do not bear arms and do not know them. For I showed them a sword. They took it by the edge and cut themselves out of ignorance. After several months in the Caribbean on January 13, 1493, 2 natives were murdered during trading. Columbus, who had otherwise described the natives as gentle people, wrote, quote, they are evil, and I believe they are from the island of Carib, and that they eat men. He also described them as savage cannibals with dog-like noses that drink the blood of their victims. Let me see.
So he's a fickle man. His
I
opinion
believe,
changed.
See, once
Yes.
something happened.
Yeah.
On Columbus's first trip to the Caribbean, he later returned to Spain and left behind 39 men who went ahead and helped themselves to native women. Upon his return, the men were all dead. With 1,200 more soldiers at his disposal, rape and pillaging became rampant, as well as tolerated by Columbus. So his men raped and pillaged.
Oof.
Just thought I'd pass you this line. Christopher Columbus enslaved native people for gold because Columbus reported a plethora of natives for slaves, rivers of gold, and fertile pastures. That's what he reported, a plethora of natives for slaves and rivers of gold and fertile pastures to Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand. Just going down the list. Let me see. Columbus provided native sex slaves to his men.
Wow.
I just think, it's
He's
all
still,
these years later.
he still gets a parade in New York City,
right.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they had. I saw the coverage of it. Yeah.
Well, don't we have more, I guess, important things to deal with as far as our culture is concerned.
Oh, I know you want to get to the Jon Gruden. I know you do. But it's,
The more you know.
It's kind of all related. Columbus's men used native people as dog food. Christopher Columbus returned to Spain in shackles, but was pardoned, and it goes on and on and on. So that's the holiday that we celebrated in America for many, many
It's
moons.
almost
started
like
by my people, by the way, the Knights of Columbus. My grandfather was, I think, a poobah in the Knights of Columbus.
Was he?
In New Haven, Connecticut. Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, it's like he had a bad PR run, like in the last 10 years, because I don't remember a lot of this like 10 or 15 years ago about Columbus. Do you?
A bad
it's not
PR
that he had a
run?
bad what?
I mean, it's
What
like
is wrong with you?
No, I think that
what?
I think that the bad news about
History
Columbus
caught up with him, you big dummy.
That's what I'm saying, but I think it's a
That's
fairly
not what you
recent
said.
thing.
No, that's not what you said.
No.
That's not what his words matter.
It was a bad
sometimes.
analogy, all right? I'm saying that about 20 years ago, 15 years ago, that's when this stuff started to be spotlighted. Because I don't remember ever hearing anything bad about him, like in school.
No, I don't either. When I grew up, it really wasn't even, but it was like all people would dress as Christopher Columbus. This was created in the 1930s by the Knights of Columbus, who thought we needed a Catholic hero.
Oh.
And then FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. So not only is this relatively recent, this whole Columbus thing that was manufactured coming from the Knights of Columbus, but then the reason I think that it's come to light is because this has been relatively ignored by historians.
Yeah.
So that I'm just giving you the background
Context,
on what yesterday was.
I had some. I had a question. Maybe Mike, but you know a little better more about this than I do. If the stock market's open, is it really a federal holiday?
Probably not.
Right?
They didn't recognize it?
Well, we cut
I was
crap.
like-
We get look. I love the people that that really are frustrated when we take a day. And I appreciate that people get a little peeved at that, and that's fine.
It's good.
It
And
happens
in fairness,
when you do
it was
what we
my
do,
call.
and that means
Bad
what?
call. Next year, we're back.
Right.
We're working.
We'll see. Anyway, so getting back to no, if we didn't take a day off, when people want us to take it, I stand my record of shows up against anything over the last 5 years. Leave me alone, for God's sake. Okay.
Wow.
I love what I do. It's great, but I don't want to do it. You know, if I have a chance to maybe not do it for a day, that's okay too. I get it, and I get people. Hold on, I get the people that are pissed. You know, and it's been a bad PR run for that.
That's a bad PR run.
I regret saying that now. I didn't think it was it's a really rotten analogy.
Well, you would probably be.
Yeah, you're probably like the guy that says like Robert E. Lee got a bad PR run as of late.
Not saying anything about the truth of what actually happened, Oscar. I'm talking
Where did he
about
go to school? Richmond.
Yes.
Yeah.
Robert E. Lee country.
There we go.
Well, sort of one of the wokest
he lives
cities in the nation now
Leesburg.
because they've taken the statues down.
Well, they've taken the statues down, and you're not around there anymore. You know, to protest.
Well,
that.
Mike, what happened is I'm having the statues shipped up here.
A piece of it.
No, the whole thing. It takes up my yard.
Oh, the whole thing. No,
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a piece of it, like some of your other memorabilia.
I'm going to sell pieces of it.
That's all right. So we have a lot to cover.
Yes.
on today's
So
show.
much.
Look, in the middle of watching my beloved Boston Red Sox with their unlikely October run,
yes,
which has been so much fun. The Red Sox, we've got a clip from, and we'll get to that, and I'll tell you what happened during the game. But just want to do this really quickly. I know Oscar's chomping at the bit.
Right.
To,
no, I'm happy for you. You jumped on the bandwagon, 2 weeks ago?
I jumped on the bandwagon with 2 weeks, maybe?
To be fair, you
weeks
jumped on the
before.
bandwagon 60 years ago. You can
Thank
do
you.
whatever you want.
I appreciate
2 weeks
that.
ago.
Thank
No,
you.
it's fine.
Thank you. But let's be honest about this season. 3 weeks before the end of the season.
Yeah, exactly.
When they were fighting for a place in the postseason, I jumped on, and I suddenly...
For all the right
by
reasons.
The way, the announcers were talking about, the idiot announcers were talking about it last night. John Anti-Vax Schmaltz,
Yes.
who desperately wanted Tampa to beat the Red Sox. Anyhow, let's listen to the end of the game last night. Red Sox advance. Let's listen.
And now here we are, bottom of the ninth inning, game 4 at Fenway Park. That's a ground ball, base hit into left field. Christian Vasquez leads off the ninth with a single.
Caught too much of the plate. Even though it was down, it caught too much of the plate, and
I didn't know you were playing that clip.
I thought this was the hit. This is labeled on the MLB.
Sports games.
She shows bunt. He lays it down.
All right, so Arroyo lays down a bunt.
High throw pulled in by
He gets
Robb.
thrown out, but advances Christian Vasquez over to second base. Now there's one out. Bottom of the ninth, baby.
Bottom of the ninth.
Bottom of the ninth. Now you get Travis Shaw.
Bounce to third off the end of the bat. Diaz throws, low throw, knocked down. He's safe.
Knocked down. Error.
Well, this was going to be a tough play once he made the tough part of it.
So now you got
the throw, and at that point,
Right to the
Schultz
chest.
had to smother it.
Hernandez lifts one to left center field.
Here we go.
It is pulled in by Meadows. Here comes Santana. The Red Sox into the championship series.
Boy, Fenway, baby. That's not a big place as stadiums go. They're going to the ALCS, and they get a nice little break. Woo! Very, very exciting for the Boston Red Sox to Christian Vasquez. That was Kike Hernandez, my son's new favorite player, who hit the sacrifice fly to score the run that advanced them. The Red Sox win, Red Sox win, Red Sox win. Really fun ragtag. As ragtag as it gets, a group of guys that unlikely. This is one of those beautiful baseball unlikely runs. Red Sox will advance to play either the Chicago White Sox or the Houston Astros, depending on who wins in the West. And then the American League Championship Series. They can happen to pull that out. They're going to the World Series.
What is your honest gut feeling right now?
Don't have one yet.
Not yet?
Don't know enough about the opposition. We'll see. But it's fun. And this is all gravy. I didn't expect this. So,
okay.
In the middle of that contest that I'm watching last night, the story breaks. And Oscar actually, after I found out myself, Oscar had texted me the story as well. This is all happening, I want to say, in the 9 o'clock hour, Oscar. Would that be accurate? Yeah. About 9 o'clock?
You texted me
roughly 9:30?
About 10, a little after 10 is when you texted me.
9:30.
Jon Gruden. He of the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yes.
Tons of emails with tons of crap in them, slamming everybody that's slamming the different.
Yes.
Your
And authority.
women, your minorities. Oh, the authority. Roger Goodell, commissioner of the NFL, constant and so much so. Using some words that are no longer part of the American
Racial
vernacular.
tropes.
Yes.
Racial tropes, homophobic slurs, and it's
Don't leave out
just,
misogyny, Mike.
Misogyny is there too, and by a couple hours later he's gone. He resigns, and he's out of there.
It took a weekend. In fairness, it took a weekend.
It took a weekend?
Yes, it took a weekend. On Friday, the story broke, and for those of you that don't know, Jon Gruden had just signed 4 years ago a 10-year, $10 million a year, $100 million contract to be the coach of the Oakland Raiders, now Las Vegas Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
The fall from grace, just to put some context here. 5 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, Monday Night Football, one of the greatest victories Las Vegas Raiders have ever had. Frankly, even the Oakland Raiders at that point, they beat the Baltimore Ravens on Monday Night Football last night. Monday Night Football. You've got the Ravens playing the Colts. This news breaks, and in 5 weeks, this guy's coaching career and probably NFL career is over.
Mm-hmm.
Why the NFL found the emails? It's not this Big Brother BS. They were investigating, and within the investigation, bold Danny Snyder and the Washington football team for inappropriate culture and what was at the root of this a sexual harassment. Misogynistic investigation into that culture of DVDs privately made for allegedly the owner of the team.
The Washington football scandal, that was about a year ago, wasn't it?
Almost 2 years ago.
Was it 2 years?
Almost 2 years ago.
Wow, I didn't know
Still
it was that long ago.
investigating.
Yeah.
So these leaked emails are a result.
They're not
of
leaked.
They're not leaked.
No,
discovered. Right?
They're discovered because Bruce Allen, at that point, the president of football operations, general manager, he was using a corporate email to converse with Jon Gruden and other people, and those emails got pulled into this investigation. And when the NFL did some digging, it was fair. It was fair game to say, okay, what's this conversation about?
Yeah.
And within this conversation, this past Friday, an email broke where you had Jon Gruden talking to Bruce Allen and using a racial trope about DeMaurice Smith. And on Friday, the PR from his side went into full effect saying it was a mistake, he didn't mean to hurt anybody, and he doesn't do this on a regular basis. 3 days later, Monday,
Right.
the New York Times breaks that it wasn't just that email. The emails weren't just from 2011. They went all the way to 2018. And you've had a plethora of misogynistic, racist.
I'll give you more specifics.
Please.
On Monday, the Times reported it reviewed more emails and found Gruden denounced women being employed as on-field officials, a team drafting an openly gay player, and the tolerance for national anthem protesters. The Times said that the hold on, I want you to be quiet there. The Times said the NFL uncovered the emails as part of an investigation that is at its outset ostensibly didn't involve Gruden.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
A review of workplace misconduct at the Washington football team.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Taking down everybody.
Many of the emails covering the 7-year period were sent to old Bruce Allen. There you go. Covering that, over 7 years, the Washington team's then president, who was fired in 2019. A league source confirmed the accuracy of the Times story to CNN. The emails were uncovered by the league and presented to NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, who was the subject of some of these emails.
Yeah. Homophobic slurs were used.
Let me see. I want to get to what the emails said. Let's see. In one, he called the NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell the P word,
Okay.
and the F word, homophobic slurs, according to the Times. In another, he called Michael Sam the Q word.
Okay.
After the player was drafted by saying he had a real problem with that hiring.
Sounds
didn't
like
didn't like that at all. And Gruden said the league should not have pressured the team's then coach to draft Michael Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Sam publicly revealed he was gay ahead of the draft. He ultimately never played a regular season game in the league. Since 2020, Gruden has coached Carl Nassib, a Raiders defensive end, who this year became the first active player in league history to announce that he is gay. Wonder how he feels about that. Given the contents of the emails, Gruden's credibility in the locker room would have evaporated. NFL Network and NFL.com reporter and analyst Ian Rappaport, pretty well-respected guy, said today. He says, quote, how he would stand up in the middle of a room and lead this group of men with several people in that locker room, knowing that privately he makes fun of them or is against them. It's just, he's a dope.
Yeah.
And he got caught, and it was as early as 2018. I mean, as recently as 2018, 2019. This is where we are. It continues.
He got caught. He denied it. They said, "Oh, but it's real." Then he resigned.
Well, this is the.
All right, can I throw something out here? All right, I when I'm around racists, or people that will have trouble, I get the impression. All right. And I wonder if Jon Gruden's in this category. I get the impression that people that have strong feelings of misogyny, racism, homophobia, I get the impression that they just can't keep it to themselves. They can't shut the F up.
Oh.
Here's the feeling I get.
All right.
I get the feeling when, and I understand trying to find people who think like you think. Because it gives you comfort. I think it is.
That's
right?
what I think it is. You're looking
you try to find people that think like you think. You do it politically, you do it culturally, you do that. Because I unfortunately play a sport that has a lot of people that don't feel the way I feel, I don't really go doing that. I just don't. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't, it's not in my, but the people I observe that, and I'm not talking about politics, I'm talking about racists. I'm talking about people that are intolerant. I always feel like they just can't keep it in. That you want to you want to let it out. You want to search for those people that follow you. Does that make any sense?
It does.
To you guys?
It makes 100%. And you know what? You do it at every level. When there's certain people that have verbal tics, and one that you hear a lot is people say, right? You know, they say a statement, right? because they want you to agree because it makes them feel like they're in the know.
I just think
and
it's
so,
just a joke will come out or a statement will come out, and I feel sometimes like I'm tested.
Yeah, okay, but Mike,
they're looking to see where you stand.
Look, with all due respect, agreed.
Yeah,
like that there's a level of just, hey, like I'm racist, but I'm not racist. I'm homophobic, but I'm not homophobic. Where you can't take something back is if it's a pattern. It's a pattern. It's a pattern, and you see this, and then you see it in written effing form.
Right.
How many times?
And I think the egregious people, Oscar, my point that I'm trying to make is that a guy that thinks like Jon Gruden, and there's just too much evidence out there to convince me that he doesn't think like that. Yeah. That's the way this guy was brought up, or somehow developed these views. But this is a guy that can't control it, has to vent it somewhere because he feels so strongly about that. Right. And there are, as we discussed before the show, this behavior was, I don't want to call it empowered. I hate that word. Right. But this kind of speak was what's the word? It was tolerated, but it was also.
Did they turn a blind? They turned a blind eye.
No. Let me finish. Don't try to interpret. Yeah, let me. I'm trying to find the word. What I'm saying is this type of racist dialogue. Somebody turned a light switch on, and suddenly there were people that said, "Hey, it's okay if I talk like this. It's okay if I fly a Confederate flag. It's okay." Meanwhile, a lot of people, and I'm not saying I'm a saint. I've laughed at off-color jokes about every group known to mankind. I'm guilty. I thought when I saw this, it's like, man, I didn't know that many people felt that way. That's the way I feel.
Yeah, but this guy's been doing it since 2011, at least from his emails, right?
Yeah, so but he's been doing it from 2011, and it may be under the radar with a real subset of people.
But nobody. I want to say that light's always been on. It just hasn't been.
Yeah, but Bruce Allen ain't going to call him on it because Bruce Allen probably feels the same way.
No, they were friends. They worked together in Oakland.
Why do you
together
think they were friends?
That's
why do you think
something?
They were
something had to bring them together.
I'm saying. I'm saying this existed regardless. I think at the root of this, when people come and tell you, "Hey, it's different for the underrepresented. It's different for those without a voice." And it's still
two Ds, the underrepresented.
I'm sorry. And it's still different. Then we have to open our eyes. In a league where 70% of the workforce is black, and you have this type of sentiment in leadership, key leadership, then we got to open our eyes. We got to start hearing people a little more, giving a little more credit to the players and not just the coach.
Well, maybe this will be the door that opens it. I mean, if this has been going on for 10 years, more people knew about it.
I saw a lot of memes, and look, I'm not going to cast aspersions. I'm not. Yeah, I'm just. It's. We were talking about this before the show. We have said things in the veins of comedy that were off color as broadcasters.
Sure,
we just have within our career. We're not NFL coaches. We're not going out there, leading men in a serious manner, or even. I would believe between the three of us, we wouldn't have emails or private messages with I've never seen the homophobic slurs. I've never seen racial slurs. I just haven't seen them.
Well, you don't see the stuff that Mike and I trade.
But you know what I mean.
Right.
But you sit there and you're like, oh my God, over this guy, this gentleman, this person who you thought was squeaky clean, coming from a world of ESPN, getting courted back with $100 million to coach the Raiders again. And then this breaks. You wonder what else is out there.
I had said to you in our pre-show meeting today that when you consider a workplace like an NFL football team, where you are immersed in an African-American culture with young African-American men, day in, day out, when it comes to a coach doing this, it's just amazing to me. It still is. And I apologize for my naivete, but I just say to myself, I would think, foolishly, I'm going to reevaluate the way I think about that. I have always thought when I watched that show Hard Knocks that these white guys that coach these football teams, these assistant coaches, these defensive line coaches, offensive line coaches, these guys are, I've always thought, and now I think I have to reevaluate, I've always thought they are so tuned in to African-American culture compared to, and it ain't true. I've also heard on the other side, the other extreme would be that it is kind of an overseer culture, where you've got the white guys over here and the black guys who are doing all the work over here. I don't know where it falls. It just, and as I said, excuse my being naive about the subject, I would always think that NFL coaches, foolishly so perhaps, were more tuned into and more sensitive to that kind of crap.
Yeah.
And when you see something like that's why I get it. I'm learning all the time. I didn't think, you could go over the last 5 years and just list the number of times I've said, man, I just didn't know we were like that. I didn't know people were like, it's so much bigger. It's lived under the surface for so long. And when you see this, it just verifies that this is still there, that it's a huge problem. And I see it everywhere now. I see it everywhere. And it's not only in sports, but it's in every corner of society. And I don't know what the end game is, man.
Well, I was going to ask you a question about that. Obviously, this culture exists. We see it in this example that broke over the weekend.
Yes.
And because it exists, it's been allowed to exist for a long time. And the NFL, make no mistake, they love their business.
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to see more of this culture exposed at the expense of making the NFL look bad? Are they going
not
to
if the
protect
NFL
it?
has anything to do with it?
Yeah. How would
Well,
when it all the way the NFL plays.
When it all costs. There are early reports as of this morning, when we're recording this on Tuesday, that the NFL wanted this taken care of on Friday. They didn't want Gruden, the front office, they didn't want Gruden to coach on Sunday.
Okay.
Because they had given these emails to ownership at the Raiders and said, hey, heads up.
Okay.
This is coming down the pipeline from our investigation, and the Times has it.
Right.
And by the time Monday night rolled around, because the owner of the Raiders and Gruden, they're like family, he had no choice to say, we got to go. We got to move.
Right.
So I do feel like they don't want this on their plate.
No.
Doesn't matter. They'll tell an owner, you got to do it or we're going to do it for you.
Well, because I think, who knows? I don't want to point a finger or accuse anybody.
You can't.
Until there's documentation. But when I see a guy that is this much of a figurehead in the National Football League, Jon Gruden, as a coach, before that as a broadcaster, before that as a coach again, I see this guy as, this was the guy that was put up on the pedestal. He was in that Belichick league, right?
He was one of the coaches that everyone knew his name.
Shocking.
You knew his name.
Look, I still think it doesn't matter to fans of the NFL. It's not like you're going to, but as I said, I cannot even possibly tell you what the end game is.
If you're if
our society, much less the NFL.
You're right. And I'm sorry for cutting you off, Mike, but if you're banging the drum about being a fan and separating the two, look, that argument right now, or it just doesn't hold water. Where I could see that you brought the Raiders to Las Vegas. We were all rooting on that win against the Ravens, but you got to look at this and say, okay, it's not an email in 2011. They have emails through 2018.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff. And those guys, I think, do you think that this, at the very least, because I said I can't look at the big picture. The big picture is so huge in this country, it's not even, I can't even fathom it. Things I used to think were isolated examples. Going back to 2017, remember when I told the story about that one guy?
Right.
When I was shocked And then it blew up, and then I showed my ass by screaming at him in a crowded bar, at a country club. Not the best move. I thought that way back when, this is my naivete, as early as 2017, I said to myself, man, this is 2017. You don't talk like that. Oh, man, was I wrong.
Right.
Man, was I completely and totally wrong. I just never knew. It's everywhere. I couldn't even try to tell you what, where we are with this right now. It's just, I don't know what it's going to take. I want to see every friggin' email down to the last possible one. I want to know. I think, look, and you're right, the NFL ain't going to do it.
Right.
But let's hope that the media outlets will show it, because there is a group of people already that are out there going, oh, here we go, cancel culture. You're going to hear that. You're going to hear that right away. You're going to hear cancel culture. Cancel culture ain't going to happen to you if you don't do something that, gets canceled.
If it was one email,
yep.
Shame. It's not when it's a body of work
over a decade.
No, and you can slam somebody because you don't like what they did. It's the way you do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's the way you do it. I don't know where this, do you think there's a chance that this, look, we've had so many scandals when it comes to the NFL with concussions.
Yeah.
And the
they buried
protocols
that.
They buried that. This is a real example of how far does this little snake go.
This is what's fascinating, that this investigation by the NFL locally here for the DC area, the Washington football team, has taken this long, and now we're just seeing the fruits of their quote unquote labor.
Right.
What are they going to find on management and ownership of the Washington football team?
Yeah.
Or other teams. You know what I mean? Look, I do the connective tissue. I don't want to piss people off, but I don't care. When you see the people and the NFL ownership and where they line up behind a lot of people that are accused of racial insensitivity.
Also, no pro tip when you're trying to keep things private, but why do people use their corporate email for this stuff? It makes no sense.
We've seen
use your Yahoo email.
I'm glad they do. I'm glad they do because it outs people a certain way.
It screams,
you know what I mean?
old man tradecraft.
Right.
Well, because his assistant set him up with it. Just click the envelope, John.
Yes.
I like to know. Somebody called me out, and I've had some pretty frank discussions about it with a couple of people recently. And somebody called me out and was asking me about my interactions with minorities.
Okay.
And, you've probably never, something along the lines of, you've probably never been in that situation. I probably haven't talked about it. Maybe I have. You do it this long, you forget what you've talked about. And it was along the lines of, you've probably never been in a situation where you had a difficult experience. And they were quoting something happened that their white life was affected by an African-American and crime and something like that. I said, I was mugged. Yeah. So I was mugged when I was a young teenager, 13, 14 years old. I was mugged in Hartford, Connecticut at knife point. In Fox's department store. That's just a fact. And people shut up with that because they're trying to say, you'd hate just like I hated if you went through. I said, nope, I don't. And so I get to the large question here. I don't. I just don't. I don't even after that. And I know people that, can say that it's kind of a nihilistic look at the way you look at other human beings, that hate an entire group of people because one incident happened to you. There are, when we talk about race in America, you just have to say, where does the hate come from? Mm. And I think everybody listening to me right now, if I can leave this discussion, because we'll get off this and we'll start having a little more fun. I really, really believe that if you think about where the hate comes from, you're going to be really embarrassed. If you're somebody that really has if you're somebody that might want to apologize for Jon Gruden, or you might think we're overreacting, you might think the whole the Indigenous Peoples Day, blah, blah, blah. You just think about, where does that hate come from? And you'd probably be very surprised that it really doesn't come from anywhere, that it shouldn't exist, that it really shouldn't exist, that there are a-holes everywhere in every possible corner of the world. There are jerks and there are non-jerks. That's the way I look at it. I think everybody, the only way I can think to get my head around crap like this, to the Jon Grudens and to the people with their racist policies and the people that feel racist and want to slander minority groups, ask yourself, just look in the mirror and say, where's that come from? Why do I hate that group? Why do I have to say hateful things and make it about the way they look? Because it's really ultimately about the way they look. It's always about the way they look, the way they act, the way they live. Every group of people is like this. It's dumb, and it comes out of nowhere. It's bullshit. It's complete and utter bullshit. It really is, folks, because if you are a thinking, talking, drinking, pooping human being, you're the same as another thinking, drinking, pooping, yelling, effing human being. You are.
Yeah.
Period. It doesn't change no matter what. So it's stupid. And it's all about, he looks a little different than I do. It's as dumb can possibly be. And Jon Gruden is dumb. And he thinks that way because he's stupid. And he acts that way because he's stupid. I don't care about all the X's and O's, the work ethic, the color commentary, blah, blah, blah. We gotta get rid of it. We gotta lift it up. My old man, God rest his soul, said the only way this will happen will be when we all just start climbing on one another and we make babies, beautiful, beautiful mixed race babies as far as the eye can see. Because this is I never knew it was this widespread in the country that I love. I never knew it was that way. And all I can say is I don't do a good enough job of calling it out. And maybe when something like this comes down the pike, I say, I got to do better. I got to do better. I have to have more fights with people. I'm sorry, I do. I think everybody does. I think that you call it out. Call it out on both sides, by the way. Not exclusive to the white devil. Mm-hmm. Plenty of it on the other side of other minority groups. Hispanics, black people, everybody. But we're all identical. We are. Yeah. There are absolutely brilliant people from every walk of life. This is crap. It's fiction. It's fiction. It's like the Christopher Columbus discovered America fiction. Yeah. Racism is fiction. It's based on nothing. Oh, well, no, it's not. My brother got robbed at gunpoint. That's a bad person. They're a bad person from every walk of life. I'm so sick of this. And when you get a guy like Jon Gruden, I like it. I get off on it. I think it's great that it's exposed, because the more we expose it and the more we say there are consequences for that, maybe this eventually will be nothing, probably long after I'm dead. But I will shout from the top of the mountain, man, that this crap, this BS means nothing. It means nothing to me. If anything, I wish I had greater exposure. But because I do things down here, I live in an area and I play a game, that I can play at 62 with a falling apart body, I'm not exposed to it enough. God, I wish that was different. I really do. I wish that was more widespread culturally. That's all. I've been monopolizing the conversation. I apologize.
No, good thoughts, though, man. Strong thoughts.
It's just, does that have any validity to?
Of course.
That it's kind of a myth, this whole hating a group of people because
it's a castle
they look
built on sand. There's nothing to it.
Also, but it's learned behavior.
Well, yeah.
Like, this is, I guarantee anybody that drops these N-bombs or thinks this way, they learned it at home.
Yeah, you probably, to a degree, right about that.
Yeah, but that's, again, stupid. That's just stupid. It is.
I would know. I'd say there are examples of people that developed it on their own, but by and large, I think on the large scale, it's learned behavior.
And it goes back to what you said before, Mike, when you say it's fear-based. Well, it very well may be fear-based, but fear of what? There's nothing to be scared of.
Well, that's true, but some may say that people are concerned that things are changing, and it's not changing the way they want to.
Well,
but that's
in my
nothing to be
opinion,
scared of. It's something to deal with.
I think it's not changing fast enough, and I want it to be fast. And we have to say, hey, John, you idiot. Bye. Hope you enjoyed it. That's it. That's it on Jon Gruden. Sorry to go off, but we have to take a break and come back. We'll come back with the homepage and more fun, and we'll try to sell some products because that's what we do on this show. And we'll try to be funny, and because it is funny. Stupid football coaches are funny to me. Yeah. We'll take a break and come back with more fun right here. You are listening to The Mike O'Mara Show.
Hey gang, it's Twitch in the kitchen. Now that it's full-on fruitcake season, we're gearing up in the TMOS commercial bakery to start cranking out these delicious Robb Spiewak signature fruitcakes. And today I want to introduce you to our newest TMOS Keebler elf that'll be helping us do all the baking in the big hollowed-out oak tree. It's legendary AC/DC lead guitarist Angus Young. Angus brings that great rock star energy to the kitchen that'll really help us crank out these incredible fruitcakes this year. Ooh, baby! Problem is, Angus is only about 3.5 feet tall, and Rob's already stepped on him 4 times. More brown sugar, Angus! Hells bells, go to MikeO'MaraShow.com and order your fruitcake today. They're only available for a limited time, so get them now or you'll miss out for another entire year. Rob, you're standing on Angus again.
Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. Do you smell it in the air? Yep, we're all thinking fall and Halloween, which naturally sparks creativity from the costumes we pick to the recipes we bake and the decor we put up. Let KiwiCo foster that natural creative thinking and channel it into hands-on fun for your kids. Discover hands-on science and art projects that are delivered to your door. KiwiCo delivers creativity made convenient for your entire family. Your child can get super cool hands-on science, art, and geography projects delivered to their door every month. They'll be so excited to see these arrive. Got one on the kitchen table right now.
Nice.
And you'll be surprised at the high quality these materials are, too. These are real engineering, science, and art projects for children. It's great. Michael built a kaleidoscope. I have no idea. I walked by his KiwiCo project over the weekend. I was a bad father. I have not even looked at it. There was stuff, a diorama or some sort of thing. I don't know what he's doing.
So
I'll let
cool,
you know.
though. It's so
I'm a
cool.
bad parent,
You're a good
but he
parent.
loves it. It's really good. Do your part to encourage your children to be innovators and creative thinkers. There's no commitment, so you can pause or cancel anytime. Scare up some fun this Halloween with KiwiCo. Redefine learning with play. Explore hands-on projects that build confidence, creativity, and critical thinking skills. Get 50% off your first month, plus free shipping on any crate line with a code TMOS at KiwiCo.com. That's 50% off your first month at KIWICO.com. Promo code TMOS. That's KIWICO.com/TMOS. And we thank you.
From the four corners of the World Wide Web and into your digital device, it's what you need to know. This is the homepage.
This is the homepage, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Matt Amodio. By the way, he's from Connecticut, right? He's from New Haven. And I remember growing up, we had Amodio van lines. And
it cured my diarrhea. Amodio.
Imodium.
Oh, sorry.
It's AMO.
Oh, sorry.
His winning streak on Jeopardy has come to an end after 38 consecutive wins. He now has the second longest winning streak in the show's history. Overall, Matt has earned a little over $1.5 million. That puts him at third place behind Ken Jennings at $2.5 million and James Holzhauer at $2.4 million. Jennings is still king of the mountain with 74 wins. Holzhauer made it to 32 wins. Matt said, quote, "I always wanted to be a Jeopardy champion, and I accomplished that. I know going into every bar trivia game that I'm going to come in with a little intimidation factor, to say the least. But also, I just like the badge that it represents." He came in third place last night after failing to find the daily doubles and answering the final Jeopardy clue incorrectly. So he is.
I'm glad he's gone. I don't
say.
like his technique. Regardless of the answer, he always said "what is." Could be a person, could be a place, could be a thing. It was always "what is."
Really?
And I didn't like that. I think he did that to buy an extra moment. He'd ring in, he'd get recognized, he'd go, "What is Mike O'Mara?" And he'd pause there.
Right.
And I didn't like his play technique. And also, he wasn't he wasn't as gutsy as Holzhauer. Holzhauer played like he really meant it.
Incredible. And I still think that Mayim Bialik is doing a really good job.
Yeah, she is great.
Yeah, that's died down,
I'd
right?
like to see them, get it. There is a massive comet that is heading towards us, but don't worry, it's not supposed to hit the Earth, but it is coming pretty darn close. Astrophysicists think it will pass between Saturn and Uranus in 2031. But what if it was on a collision course with us? Should we pull an Armageddon and send Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck, but not Steve Buscemi up there to blow it to bits? The answer is, according to Neil deGrasse Tyson, is no. He says, quote, we're very good. I love him. We're very good at blowing stuff up because we have no end of weaponry to do this, but that's not the wisest path. All engineering calculations tell us if you blow something up, while we're good at blowing it up, we're not as good as knowing where the pieces will end up. So it's safer and it's more controlled to deflect an asteroid from harm's way. Which kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
And, Neil deGrasse Tyson knows his stuff about that. So who knows?
But the movie would not have been a big hit if they just deflected the asteroid.
Right. Okay, I'm not part of the comic book world, so I don't know how to feel about this. But it seems to me that when you put the sexuality of comic book characters out there, I don't know. I thought comic books were for children. But let me lay it out there. You tell me. Superman is coming out as bisexual in the comics. The current Superman in DC Comics is not Clark Kent. By the way, it's John Kent, the son of Clark and Lois Lane. And in the November 9th issue, he becomes romantically involved with a college friend named Jay Nakamura. The writer of the comic says, quote, I've always said everyone needs heroes and everyone deserves to see themselves in their heroes, and I'm very grateful DC and Warner Brothers share this idea. Superman's symbol has always stood for hope, for truth, and for justice. Today, that symbol represents something more. Today, more people can see themselves in the most powerful superhero in comics. Okay, I get it. DC also recently had the current Robin, Tim Drake, come out as bi in the comic Batman Urban Legends.
Tim Drake.
I don't know comic books.
I'm good with it, Mike. This is where we are in this world.
It's not like they're showing people now having sex in comics.
No. This is part of the storyline, part of society today.
This is the person I'm in love with.
Jon Gruden is not happy about this. I've heard reports. That is alleged, but I've heard reports.
I bought the new Jon Gruden comic book, though. That's great.
Yes. Misogyny man. Is coffee becoming less and less popular? I am back on it. I am drinking coffee.
For years, you couldn't.
Yeah. I couldn't. I'm doing okay. I'm trying it, and it's fun. I grabbed me a little cappuccino at
sure.
It's fun. Let's see here. 63% of Gen Z say they never drink it. 63%. That's a lot.
That is.
That's compared to 33% of millennials who say they never drink it, 34% of Gen Xers who say they never drink it, and 29% of baby boomers who never drink coffee. A lot of them do.
Yeah.
Gen Zers who do drink coffee are also less likely to drink a lot of it. Only 6% said they have more than 1 or 2 cups a day. And for all other age groups, around 20% drink multiple cups a day. 2% of older adults say they drink at least 7 cups a day. I know Oscar's an energy drink guy, Rob. I know you're a diet soda guy.
Yeah, I do. I will occasionally have a cup of coffee if it's like a relaxing morning or sometimes after dinner. But what I wish is they would ban morning television people from talking about coffee in a lighthearted manner. Oh, need my coffee. Going to send over a cup of coffee, Tucker.
Mike, have you tried cold brew?
No, I have not. I'm just making the transition back to hot coffee. Carla drinks a lot of coffee, and I'm drinking coffee, and it's helping me this morning. I got to tell that. It truly is. Oh, God, we got to fly. We're so late. We heard rumors about this last year, but now it's official. Oh, thank God they're releasing this information.
Yes.
Mountain Dew will be coming out with gingerbread soda for the holidays.
Yes!
I'm in.
It's called Mountain Dew. I am too, believe it or not.
Sounds great.
It'll touch my lips.
Yeah.
It's called Mountain Dew Gingerbread Snapped. On the bottle, it's described as Mountain Dew with a, quote, blast of artificial gingerbread flavor.
Artificial? That's on the label? They got to put that there?
They haven't released a date yet. It'll hit shelves before the end of the year. Well, I hope it's before Christmas.
It will be.
This isn't the first holiday flavor they've come up with. It's replacing a cranberry pomegranate flavor called Merry Mashup that they've been selling since 2018.
I've had it.
That one's discontinued now. You've had the Merry Mashup?
Yeah,
pomegranate's too
too
much.
sweet.
The cranberry's
Too
nice.
sweet.
I
Okay,
understand
very
every
good.
bottle of the gingerbread stuff comes with floss.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Back to football. Two Eagles fans. Fly, Eagles, fly. Two Eagles fans, a man and a woman, were videoed in a men's room stall over the weekend at the stadium, and it looks like they were doing the nasty.
I've seen this
By the
video.
time,
Yes.
by the time the videos start, a fairly large crowd has already gathered, including a few cops. They knock on the door and ask them to come out. And as that's happening, the crowd chants, "Let them finish."
Oh,
Gross. The door eventually opened. They walk out, and the man is put in handcuffs. But according to reports, they were not arrested. Cops weren't able to confirm that they were doing anything illegal, but it's against policy for a woman to be in the men's room, so they were escorted out of the stadium. And here's the interesting part.
Yeah.
The Eagles won the game against the Panthers, and you know how they won it?
how?
They came from behind. I'm sorry. There you are. That's the first one of the week. Thank you, everybody. We'll take a break, and we'll come back and find out. This might be a two-parter, might not be. It depends. He went radio silent all weekend.
yeah.
I want to find out what's really, really going on with our Robb Spiewak, who the whole reason we were really gone, it was Robb's anniversary weekend.
It
We'll
was.
find out all about that next.
All right, boys, settle down. Put your tongues back in your heads. It's me, Elvira, mistress of the dark, the sassy lassie with a classy chassis. Someone asked me recently, Elvira, are you getting any on the side these days? I said, honey, it's been so long, I didn't even know they moved it. You may have read on the internet that I enjoy the company of the fairer sex. Sorry, fellas, I play for the home team. Guys never did it for me because while a guy is doing it, he's thinking how great it would be with a different woman. Whereas when a straight woman is doing it, she's thinking how lousy it is with this guy. If your lady needs something spooky, scary, racy, or lacy for your Halloween celebrations, visit the TMOS Shopping Center to shop at Target or Walmart from the comfort of your hospital bed, you little monsters. Just like my sweater goblins, these handsome devils need a lot of extra support. Am I right, ladies?
Who is the authoress?
I
like that lady.
believe, I'll have a feeling to say it was a Twitch production, and I don't have the name of our voice
I know
artist.
it's a Twitch production.
But give me 1 second.
They're all Twitch productions. Anyway, let me get to the commercial. Whether you're camping in the woods or at a backyard get-together, there's nothing like a roaring fire to bring you back to what matters. Put down your device, dig the warmth, the brilliance, the connection. Those fireside moments ground you in what it means to be human. And man, what a time of year for it.
Yes.
It's starting. The fall. It's here, baby. Solo Stove creates story-worthy moments. Fireside fumes not included. The stainless steel construction is designed to regulate airflow and burn more efficiently. With so little smoke, you'll wonder how there's so much fire. I love it. Yeah. No campfire smell on your clothes and hair, and nothing left but ultrafine ash for easy cleanup. From camp stoves to backyard bonfires, Solo Stove products are portable and built to last. Easy to light with a few bits of starter. Your fires blazing in minutes, and Solo Stove is so confident in their products, they give you a lifetime warranty for every purchase. No one needs a reason to gather around the fire. Morning taping. Solo Stove just took away any reason not to. And now you can get $10 off when you use promo code TMOS at checkout. Just go to solostove.com and remember, you get $10 off when you use promo code TMOS. I must be honest about something.
What's that?
I got a little concerned about our boy Robb Spiewak, Oscar, over the weekend because Robb Spiewak is someone who...
He's a prolific sharer.
He posts everything. So Robb tells me that he wants the Friday through Monday to go to New York. And I said, well, I think we have a federal holiday. Mm-hmm. So Robb is getting away to New York City for his anniversary.
Yeah.
Which it was your 25th?
Well, three things. First of all, that was Stephanie Loftus on that promo. So thank you, Stephanie, for doing the killer Elvira.
Wonderful
impression. We
job,
appreciate you.
Stephanie.
Today, also, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the 107th birthday of my grandfather, Big Daddy.
Aw,
so happy heavenly birthday, Big
Okay.
Daddy. It was our 25th anniversary. Today is the actual day, October 12th, 1996. 25 years ago, this very moment, I was shaving and trying not to cut myself, knowing that it would be in all my wedding pictures.
So you go to New York with your bride. You said it was her doing. She was going to surprise you. When you don't share,
yeah.
I guarantee you, and I know this, don't try to deny this, when you don't share, it is a conscious decision not to share.
Absolutely.
Because
I wanted to build up some, really for you two. I wanted to surprise you with a couple things.
I
that
thought you
happened.
didn't go.
No, we went.
I was
We
like,
absolutely
they had
went.
a Southwest issue.
Well,
Maybe
I love
they didn't
following like your kids and your family and seeing what you're up to, but I didn't know you were doing
I
it.
thought
So
there was a big
it
fight.
worked if you
no,
wanted
there
to
was
create.
there was no
I was hoping
fight.
for a big fight.
There was no fight, and it was really great. Is that I only knew of one thing we were going to do.
This is great. This would drive me nuts, actually, Mike, and I'll tell you why. After the show, this is after the show.
Yeah.
I was asking Rob about his New York trip, and I said, "Hey, not for nothing, but you've been to the Big Apple a zillion times. Wouldn't it be easier just to go Union Station straight to Union Station? You're good to go." And he said, "Well, then she'd have to drive in, and then from Leesburg, it'd be a big deal."
And
then he said, "Let me help you here."
All right.
He said, "This is all about her, Oscar. I let her take care of everything." I said, "So you don't know anything about this trip?" He goes, "No."
Not a thing. Not a thing.
That's
I didn't
fun.
even know where our
that's
hotel
fun,
was.
Because usually you do. You're usually the arranger.
On top of it, tried to be. And so, and it turns out trains were actually a little more costly than the flight she got. Although, in retrospect, it probably would have been smarter to take the train.
Wonder.
But if the train's on time, you will get to work by 9.
This is
so
I don't know what I'm
You
doing.
have to take care of business that way.
Bachman Turner.
So we get to Dulles on Friday evening, Dulles Airport, which is one of the nicest things about living out where I live, is that I'm very
Right
close
there.
to the airport. I'm 10 minutes from the airport. We get there, we're having a beer, and she says, "You want to get something to eat? I don't know if there's going to be anything to eat close to our hotel. We're kind of out by ourselves."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Oh, okay. Let's get a pizza." So we get a bad Wolfgang Puck pizza at Dulles, and we fly in, and the flight is uneventful. We get a cab. And she gives
What airport do you fly into?
LaGuardia.
Okay.
They're currently revamping it.
Are you diving right in? I was going to give you 2 segments because we're running late here. Can you give us the chapter headings, and then when we come back, let us know, because you're driving right into the story.
Yeah, well, okay. Chapter headings are: Carrie absolutely kills it, does a fantastic job.
Kills it means she did a great job.
Chapter
Surprised
2
you.
surprised me at how great she did. Chapter 2, I am an enthusiastic Rube. And chapter 3, worst flight back ever.
Ooh, there's a lot. Hey, there's a lot to unpack there.
Oh, no, don't you dare say that. I hate
dare
that
you.
phrase.
I can't wait to get back to it. It's going to be fantastic. That's great.
Ted
Y'all
Lasso.
doing a good job, Rob. We got to take a break. Play that music. Because
You know what?
Back more with Rob Spiewak.
I've got this. We're going to stop down for a second in this break, and
Okay.
we'll be back in a moment.
If you missed the latest bonus show, you missed a lot.
It's going to be a big day tomorrow.
Big year.
It's built for Mike O'Mara.
We're going to play a game.
I had very thick sideburns.
If your dog is constipated, why mess with a good thing?
Did you ever see Debbie sloshed?
No, never. Not a single time.
By the way, tell Carrie it was a wonderful dinner.
I'll never have Goldschlager again.
Happy Thanksgiving.
The TMOS bonus show is your only chance to get that 5th hour of laughs, and it's sent to your device every Friday. Try a week, a month, or splurge for an entire year's subscription. Your support keeps that comedy train chugging. Click the bonus show banner, get a subscription, and start laughing now. It's all at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. Over the weekend, I woke up and I had what I call a crick.
Oh, yeah.
I had a crick in my neck, and I said, "Honey, where's the Theragun?" She said, "It's in the closet where you put it." I'm like, "I'm an idiot. Thank you." Got up my Theragun. I am crick-free. I was crick-free by this morning because I love my Theragun. Whether you're an elite athlete or someone like me just trying to make it through the day tension-free, Theragun can help. God, what a product, folks. Theragun is the handheld percussive therapy device that releases your deepest muscle tension using depth, speed, and power. It's as quiet as an electric toothbrush. The Gen 4 Theragun gets to the source of the pain by releasing tension. Also used it on my ankle yesterday, using Theragun's signature percussive therapy, which goes 60% deeper than vibration alone. They don't... Look, I'm going to tell you another thing that's great about Theragun. You identify where the problem is with Theragun, too, which is a great way of making you feel better. The OLED screen and design is amazing. You got to go to their site and check it out. Plus, the Theragun app learns from your behaviors and suggests guided routines. Theragun is trusted by 250 professional sports teams like Real Madrid and elite athletes like Paul George, DeAndre Hopkins, Maria Sharapova, plus hundreds of thousands of customers and May. I use it all the time, and you should too. Try Theragun for 30 days, starting at only $199. Go to therabody.com/TMOS right now and get your Gen 4 Theragun today. That's therabody.com/TMOS. Remember, therabody.com/TMOS. Welcome back to the show. All right, here were the chapters. Bad flight.
Yes.
Rob is a Rube.
Yes.
And Carrie hits it out of the park for you.
Yes.
And so you were up to New York. You get pizza. Why did she get you pizza at the airport?
Because she wanted to fool me into thinking that we had a hotel that was far away from everything. So when we land and she gives the address of the hotel, I go, we used to go there. That hotel's in Times Square.
Oh, sweet.
And I said, oh my God, that's great. We have a view from our room. We can see where they drop the ball every year.
Wonderful.
I mean, and it was gorgeous. And
that part of New York City, too, what's great about it is not a lot of tourists.
No. I feel like a real insider. But I will say this. You're
at a really, really like in New Yorker
boutique
location.
Boutique-y,
in New York.
like very boutique-y.
Right.
But we went up there a lot. But the thing is, I thought back, and I was talking about this with Carrie. When we were going up there, we did a lot of stuff, but we didn't do a lot of touristy stuff. And so I missed out on things.
You're working, yeah.
Yeah, so she plans our Saturday to a T. We get up. She says, "Do you know what's around?"
I did a lot of drinkisty things.
That's what was the name? What was the name of your place? Enzo's, Tito's.
Oh, Zeppi's.
Zeppi's, that's it. Yeah, I expensed a lot of nights from Zeppi's on forms back then. She says, right around the corner from our hotel is the New York Krispy Kreme factory. Let's go to breakfast. So she takes me to Krispy Kreme, and I said, God, you're the best. You're the best. And she says, now, after we have our donuts and our coffee, she says, we're going to do something you never did when you're coming up here. We're going to figure out the subway. And I said, okay. And we get on and we take the A train and we do the subway.
It's so easy.
It is easy. And we go down to Battery Park, and she takes me to Liberty Island to see the Statue of Liberty, which was amazing.
Yeah, you knew that was coming.
It's the one thing I requested, and it is.
So let me. You check in and
Friday night.
Friday night, and you just hang.
Yeah, well, we go to the hotel restaurant, and that's got a beautiful view too, and we have a few beers, and because we're kind of.
So that was it, and then you're up crack of dawn, and you go to the Statue of Liberty,
and I recommend it highly. I was anticipating something great, but it was even better than that. And then we take the ferry back, and we walk, and she takes me to the 9/11 memorial.
Oh,
and
wow!
I mean, those two things back to back. That's a pretty emotional day, and it is. I recommend everyone does it. It just puts it into perspective. Okay. And I don't know how, but somehow it's the one quiet place in the city. All you hear is the water, and it is striking. And so that was an amazing
it's strange.
thing.
I've never been since that day, and we were in New York that day, and I've never been, and I think I'm gonna. I think that's that's something that
Mike,
I
it's
should
something
do.
that you wanna block out a couple hours and go there and do it. It's pretty remarkable. And then we take a taxi, and she says, we're going to get an early dinner, if that's cool. I said, yeah. And she takes me to Katz's Delicatessen, which I've never been to, which is one of the most famous delis in New York City, and the pastrami is fantastic.
Next to the Carnegie, the most famous.
Yeah, well, the Carnegie's gone now. So I mean, we do that. And then we go back to the hotel, and she had planned to take me to the Hofbrau house that night, but...
In New York?
Yeah, they have one there.
You don't want that's like going to TGI Fridays,
well,
though, isn't it?
But the thing is that I zonked out so hard that she said I didn't have the nerve to wake you.
The pastrami got you.
The pastrami got to me. So we slept. Got up. Now Sunday, this is where Carrie really does it. She knew that the place we used to go to all the time was the Brooklyn Diner. So we go to the Brooklyn Diner for breakfast, and she says, I don't know if you're going to like what I have planned next. So is it okay if I tell you? And I said, yep. And she said it kind of combines some things you like, and she did back and forth, and I guessed. Finally, are we going to a show? She says, yes, we're going to see Wicked. And it's at the Gershwin Theater, and it was spectacular. And I haven't been to a Broadway show in a billion years. And because the Gershwin
Classic
Theater
show, long-running program.
And because the Gershwin Theater is not one of the old theaters, the seats were actually of a proper width, Mike. And it's got every showbiz trick in it. Well,
the things he gets excited about.
Well, no, you and I have both complained about the width of Broadway seats before. They are not designed for the larger man. This was fine. And it was a spectacular show. And they have smoke and fire and sexy flying monkeys, which I'm okay with. And they were
sexy flying monkeys?
Yeah, they're not like the flying monkeys in the Wizard of Oz movie. These are sexy flying monkeys. So that's a 10 out of 10. Just so exciting. And we leave. This is when I become a rube. When you leave the theater, it was a Sunday matinee, lined up in front of the Gershwin Theater are those bicycles that have seats for two behind them, right? And you can get a tour. And I said, you know what? This would beat walking back to the hotel. Let's hop in. And she says, yeah. And I go to a guy. He's got an MP3 player. He's blaring New York, New York by Frank Sinatra. And I said, this is our guy.
A rickshaw?
Yeah, essentially. Yeah. And so he takes us out and he says, would you like to see some sights? And yes, of course. I had a couple drinks at the play. Let's do it. So we go up by Radio City Music Hall. He takes us by the Rainbow Room. He says, you want to see Central Park? I said, of course. Why not? How much could this be? So we go through Central Park. We go by the Guys and the Horses. We go by the Fountain. We see the Plaza Hotel. We go by the John Lennon Memorial, by the Dakota. We're seeing all the city. He takes us up Fifth Avenue. It's been about an hour. I said, we can go back. We can go back to the hotel now. And I've got a sizable amount of cash in my pocket. I think we're good. And we pull up to the hotel, and I say, what do we owe you? And this guy is great. He's been just fantastic. He says, well, we've had you for about 62 minutes. I can round it down to 60. And as you can see, and it's posted in like typewriter-sized letters on the size of his rickshaw, charge $8 a minute.
$8
a minute?
Yeah.
A minute.
What was your total?
It came... I think it was 60 minutes, so it was $480.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
And I was instantly sober. It sobered me up right away. And I said, and he says,
whoa!
He says, do you take, I had what I thought would be plenty of cash. And I said, do you accept credit? Of course I do. He pulls it out and he says, this was the best thing. He says, here's your total and here's where you can add a tip.
I'm amazed.
I
knew
was
it would be a lot.
I was gobsmacked.
I was like 100. I thought he was going to charge you like 100.
I thought it was going to be like I budgeted about $200 for it. Yeah,
I was $10 a minute.
$100 an hour.
$8 a minute. I said, "Are you a
it's
surgeon?"
Better to say by the hour. You paid $400 an hour.
$480
an hour.
$480 an hour.
And Carrie was none too pleased. Because
Jesus,
she said this puts us over budget. She says this puts us over budget. I said at least we skipped the Hofbrauhaus last night.
Man, when my daughter lived in New York, she did the wrong thing.
I know.
Yeah, but you got to lug this guy around. You better get compensated.
Yeah, but it's not like they're
another.
charging by the pound.
That's true. Thank God. Thank God.
It's not an electric bike.
But we've gotten to the point now where that was a day and a half ago, and we're laughing about it. That we are such flipping rubes that we got sucked into that. And you know what? We saw a lot of good stuff. Didn't see $500 worth of good stuff, but we saw a lot of good stuff.
How late am I, Rob?
We're really late. We should break. And
we got to take a break.
And we can skip the dumpster if you want to come back and tell you about the flight.
Let's come back and find out about your flight.
Yes.
And
Okay.
then we'll be
$480.
$480. Oh, and $20 tip.
Brutal.
This is where you can add a tip. Oh, can I?
My God, I'd like to see your face. That's it. Oh,
yeah.
We'll
You
take
nailed
a break
it.
and finish this up
Bright
with
red.
Robb Spiewak. Rob the Rube goes to New York. When we come back, a little more right here on the Mike O'Mara Show.
Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, dear.
Antony and Cleopatra.
Yeah.
Bogey and Bacall.
Sure.
Add to that list another one of the world's greatest love stories.
Yeah, me and Carlo.
Mike and Carlo O'Mara. Their love is like a red rose.
She's doing the dishes.
That's newly
aggressively.
Their love is like the melody that's sweetly played in tune. And nowhere is that love story more on display than the Mike O'Mara Bonus Show. Yes, fall in love with love again and again with a Mike O'Mara Bonus Show subscription. Lovingly tap the banner at MikeO'MaraShow.com and order the TMOS bonus show today. You'll love it, just like Carla loves Mike.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Mike,
Appreciate it.
fall in love with love. That's my favorite part of that promo.
Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show, brought to you by Coinbase. Cryptocurrency might feel like a super secret or exclusive club, but Coinbase believes that everyone, everywhere, should be able to get in the door. Whether you've been trading for years or just getting started, Coinbase can help. If you identify as crypto curious, I love that term, Coinbase makes learning to buy and sell simple. Coinbase offers a trusted and easy-to-use platform to buy, sell, and spend cryptocurrency. Plus, they said, well, can you turn that down just a little bit?
Board is still giving me grief. I'm sorry, guys.
Plus, they support the most popular digital currencies on the market and make them accessible to everyone. They offer portfolio management and protection, learning resources, and a mobile app so you can trade securely and monitor your crypto all in one place. Millions of people in over 100 countries trust Coinbase with their digital assets. Whether you're looking to diversify or just getting started, visit the website and check it out. It's a great time to get started. For a limited time, new users can get $10 in free Bitcoin when you sign up today at Coinbase.com/TMOS. That's Coinbase.com/TMOS for $10 in free Bitcoin. This offer is for a limited time only, so be sure to sign up today. That's Coinbase.com/TMOS. And thank you, Coinbase, for sponsoring our show. We appreciate that. So, a dream weekend.
Wonderful.
Lots of food and drink.
Yes.
The Rube moment, which was a beautiful Rube moment. And then you have mentioned like several times that the flight was not to your liking.
People should know that we don't live that far from New York City. Here in
No,
3.5
you can drive
hours.
there.
Yeah.
You can take the train there. You can fly there.
Would you say that portal to portal 9 hours is a long day to get back from New York? Would you say that? Yeah.
Yeah. How are you traveling?
By air.
Oh my God! What happened?
Because we bought the tickets in advance before and it wasn't even Southwest.
Oh, what was it?
It was United. And on the way in to the airport.
Hours.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
LaGuardia?
Yes, the new LaGuardia. I got all kinds of emails throughout the weekend from United telling me all the ways I could buy Wi-Fi for my 35-minute flight. They really love that. Here's all your entertainment options. You can pay in advance. Do you want to check a bag and pay in advance? Sure, do it this way. What they neglected to say and never told us is that the flight was canceled. So when we go to check in, when we wake up on Monday morning, there is no flight at all. And so I say, well, whatever is going to happen is probably going to happen at the airport. Let's get a taxi to the airport anyway, because we can deal with gate agents there.
What about saying, hey, give me my money back. Let's take the train home.
Thought about it, but that put us in a situation because we had no way to get from the train station to home. Our ideal plan was to get to Dulles, where it's a short taxi
Next time,
cab.
call me. I would have taken you guys.
I thought about it, but then I said, not worth.
No big deal.
Not worth all the grief you'd give me
for
the weeks afterwards.
It'd be great for the show.
It'd be great that day.
Yeah,
but it would be really bad.
Why 9 hours? You couldn't get another flight?
Well, we get there, and we go to the United gate agent, and this got to a point where I swear Carrie looked at him and said, "Do you even work here?" Because he was that slow.
That's always going to get you.
Well, this was after the fact that he was staring at his screen. He was literally, at one point, scratching his head. And
yes, ma'am, I do work here, and I can get you out on Thursday.
He had already switched us over to a flight on American, and they're great too, by the way. And so we're talking to him, and he says, "I can't get you into Dulles, but I can get you into National." And Carrie says, "Yes, but we don't want to go to National." And this was the great quote. He says,
"Yeah, it's a big deal.
He said,
I'm sorry in D.C. with traffic and all
what
that."
he says is, "Well, why not?" I said, "Because it's 40 miles from where we want to be. It's not like they're adjacent." And
and it's also you land at the other airport and you can walk to your house.
Exactly. So he figures that, and then he prints out the tickets and he says, "Well, this says DC International Airport. Maybe you are flying to Dulles." And Carrie says, "There is no DC International Airport, and we're not flying to Dulles." And he says, "But you could be, and wouldn't that be a nice surprise?" There's the American counter. And so
he doesn't know the code.
He doesn't know
DCA and IAD, which are the codes for Reagan National and Dulles.
Knows nothing. And so we walk over to American, And when we leave, he leaves his post and just starts wandering the airport. And Carrie says, see, he doesn't work here. So we get to American. They're very nice. Turns out, yes, we will be landing at National right in the city. And I said, you know what? Let's just do it. We'll get a cab.
Get home,
Let's get home, please. So we go. The flight that they put us on is 90 minutes later than the one we had originally. I said, you know what? That's fine. It's a short flight. We get on. We wait. They finally seal the doors. They taxi out. We got to the runway. They even get to the part where they make the turn. You know, they make the turn at the last minute.
Take off.
And then we get on the intercom. He says, from your flight deck. There's issue with weight distribution in the cargo hold, so there's going to be a slight delay.
Weight distribution in the cargo hold.
And then,
never heard that one
about
before.
a half hour later, he comes on and says, hey, your captain from flight deck. Listen, there was a scheduled maintenance that was unscheduled and never got attended to. You're in no danger, but we're going to take you on back to the gate.
My God.
Please stay seated.
So they were.
So they take it.
I believe they lie.
Of course they do. Of course they do, because it's totally
Right.
different. So they taxi us back to the gate, and we're there for another half hour, and they say, we're going to just sit here and see how this works out. So we really appreciate your patience. Thank you. And I looked to the lady next to me, and she's very
Your wife?
No, Carrie was opposite the aisle. This lady was opposite the aisle, one up. And she had been through the rescheduling too. So she's very perky. And Carrie noticed that a lot of times in a place like New York City or traveling, strangers somehow approach me. I don't know if I look friendly or stupid or whatever. But this lady turns and says, you don't suppose they're going to take us off the plane, do you? And I said, it's going to have to be something pretty serious to get. This is your captain from the flight deck. We're going to be exiting from both the front and the rear exit.
Oh, no, Rob. Wow.
So we get out, and eventually, I'll cut to the end of the story first, is that they do find another plane, and we land in, I believe we touched down at National just about 3, home at about 4, left the hotel at 7. So it was a long day. So as we are leaving...
Such a short trip.
I know! Ridiculous. And that's the thing. And so as
Lord.
we're deplaning, Carrie hears a guy behind her, and I'm sorry, we're going to have to bleep this. And this is the quote. He says, this is so typical. I will never fucking fly American again. And she turns around, and it's the pilot.
Oh, wow. Wow. You know what I was thinking when you were telling me that story? If you spent the money on what you spent for your bicycle ride around Central Park, you would have been able to fly Wheels Up, private air.
Probably, yes, exactly.
That's incredible.
Carrie did ask if we could get a rickshaw at least to Dulles.
With what you paid, right?
Yeah, I'm such a rube. And the thing is you feel we've been there so many times. I thought
that's how they get you.
That's how they get you.
But everything went great, and
it's a great silver anniversary, and happy anniversary, Carrie. I love you very much, very much.
Wonderful, and everything went well.
Yes.
No major altercations.
No. She was a little pissed that I fell asleep before the Hofbrauhaus, but we got past it.
Okay. She likes your beer, right?
She is a thirsty lady.
Thank you. Hey, we'll be back with another brand new episode tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed that. Sorry for the time management issue. For Robb Spiewak and Oscar Santana, this is Mike O'Mara saying so long, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Want more? Make sure you check out the Mike O'Mara Bonus Show. Get it at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.
Good night, ladies.
Good night, sir.